Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Bonafide. I'm back again with my boy Tre. We took a little hiatus for celebrations and sickness, but we back. And we're going to talk about the sickness that is overlooking Cam Ward. What has gotten into these people? So, on this episode from the Chief Seats. Hey, what's up? It's back to From the Cheap Seats. I am with my homie, the Grandmaster Poobah, the man himself, the myth, the legend, Big Tre. Tre, what's going on, dog? It's been a minute.
Hey man, it has been a minute, but we're living. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Good, man. Just had a birthday yesterday, bro. Just turned the big 4-1. I'm old, you know what I'm saying? But still, another year down. So I appreciate it. All right, man. We're gonna get back into it. It's been a week since we've been there. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, locking in. So a lot of things have transpired since the last time we had episode. We talked about draft picks and all we got drafted. Rookie minicamp has already happened. Veteran OTAs, I think they're still going on, or they are probably wrapping up. I keep seeing content from the Titans of just like everybody, doing like tug of war stuff and things like that. So I don't know if the OTAs are still ongoing or they wrapped up. But I know that happened over the past few weeks, and I got some thoughts on that. But let's talk about this video that Kyle Brandt put in, and then I'll put it in the description and I'll put the tweet things like that. But basically, what Kyle Brandt was talking about is, again, when we all know the story. Cam Ward was drafted number 1 overall, and as soon as he got drafted, ESPN. Now, me and Tre, when we were on a live stream, we were watching NFL Network, so we heard a lot about Ward. But even then, the buzz seemed to be, okay, is Shadur Sanders going next? Blah 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 blah. We all know that whole story. We never hashed that. So Kyle Brandt came out with a video saying, hey, that was a least hype number 1. We didn't even spend any time on Cam Ward. And I think he was throwing shots at ESPN, rightfully so, because they didn't do anything. Because Mel Kiper was over there basically going full whatever on that. So fast forward to today. Kyle Brandt comes out with a post, and I'm gonna paraphrase the post that I saw today. Is I said that's why Titans fans rock with Kyle Brandt outside of the Bill stuff, is because the Tennessee Titans, along with the New Orleans Saints and the Cleveland Browns, got no primetime games. None. Not one primetime game in the 2025 season. And that is with having the number 1 overall pick. Now, I think I'll put the video. I think it's gonna come up over here. I'll put the video up of my schedule predictions. We might touch on that a little bit here. And then, but I also talked about him being snubbed. Now, Zach Lyons from Stacking Inbox said that this is the first time since 2017 that the number 1 overall pick has not had at least one overtime, one prime time game. One prime time. The number 1 overall pick that year was Myles Garrett. But since then, the number 1 pick has had a game, at least one primetime game. Shoot, me and remember when Marcus got drafted? He went number 2 overall, but Jameis was number 1 overall. They had the first game of the season. The first game of the season was Titans Bucks in Raymond James Stadium. I happened to be at that game and watched the miraculous beginning of one Marcus Aldell Tayo Tueo Mario. I know I messed that up. But hey, so Tre, tell me, am I overreacting by saying that the league is like the league in general, like a lot of people are just overlooking Cam. Like it's just like he's not a non-factor, and I guess I'm not used to this. And I guess some people will say, "Hey, we got rose-colored glasses on." But tell me what you thinking on this.
No, you're not wrong, and that's the thing. I mean, at least initially, some people thought that maybe the lack of attention was due to the fact that. Sorry, excuse me. But I think a lot of people initially began to tie the lack of attention to Cam Ward because everybody knew he was the number 1 overall pick, which I guess it's fine. But after after he was selected, during the rest of the draft, after with media coverage and all that stuff, there was virtually like barely even a peep about the guy, man. I mean, he's the number one overall pick. He's a quarterback, man. He's probably the best quarterback in this class, and you're not talking about him, man.
At all.
Which is okay, cool, dude. That's fine. But you get to the schedule release and everything, he doesn't get a single primetime game. Which, when you take into the factors into consideration, Nashville is not a big media market, man.
Mhm.
It's not. I think it's probably one of the bottom 5 media markets in the entire league, man.
Right.
I think Jacksonville's last, but I think Nashville is in the bottom 5 as well.
Right.
So take that into consideration. 2, the Titans stunk in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Bad football team, right? 3, because they stunk, they don't have really all that many interesting personalities or players on their team. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is loud, outspoken. That's your guy.
Right.
L'Jarius Sneed, talented corner, got paid a whole bunch of money. You know, Tony Pollard, of course, but
Yeah.
aside from them,
You ain't got no George Pickens on your team.
you don't have a George Pickens. You don't have an outward personality on your team that can get you some media attention, even when you suck, man.
Right.
So that's 3 considerations. But even then, despite all that, despite the media, the bad media market, the bad football team from last year, there's no excuse to why this team shouldn't have at least one primetime game.
One.
Just so you can have the number 1 overall pick in a primetime audience, national audience,
right?
So he can introduce himself to the rest of the football and landscape, man. No excuse for that. And what peeved me a little bit was I believe it was a high-level executive with the NFL who was taking
Mike
questions
North.
about that whole thing, saying the Titans have to play their way into prime time and everything.
Right.
It's like, okay, cool. The Falcons have 5 primetime games, man. 5. They can have 1 or 2. That's fine. 5 is ridiculous, man.
Ridiculous.
They have done absolutely nothing to deserve such a large-scale broadcasting primetime effort by the league. Not even close. Michael Penix is not that interested. He could be good, totally great. Right. Not that interested based on what he did last year, man. Not even close, man. And maybe this is in response to the Falcons, making some noise this year. That's cool, but they haven't proved nothing yet. They haven't played their way into prime time. The Dolphins have all these prime time. They haven't played their way into prime time.
We beat them.
Titans beat them. Tua brain is rattled, man. Tyreek Hill, I don't know if he could be out the door or not, but that offense sucks half the time now because Tua's out. Tua's out. And when Tua's out, that offense sucks, man. And even then, when Tua was in, that offense started to fall off towards the tail end of the season last year, man. So I don't get it. I seriously don't understand the whole pretext of playing way into prime time and just throwing crap on the wall with a whole bunch of teams that ain't proved nothing yet, man. And then you got the nerve to leave the number 1 overall pick out prime time. I literally said it myself. I don't care about primetime games. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care because it's literally just another another shiny present that literally does nothing for me. Okay, I want to see them win. If they play 17 games of the season at 1 p.m. or the 12 Central Time slot, I don't care, man. Go out there and if you can put together a good season, keep putting them at 12 p.m. I don't care, man.
Yeah.
As long as you win, I don't care. But to make the arguments to keep these dudes off primetime is ridiculous. You're trying to gaslight me, man. I see your game. I see right through you. I see you, man. Do you know that we can see you, bro?
I know.
You can't gaslight me. I know your game. So don't try to sit here and try to throw all these excuses in my face. Tell me you gotta play your way to primetime. The Titans suck. That's one thing. Fine. If the media market sucks and the team's not interested, fine. But don't try to sit here when you got the number 1 overall pick and say you got to play your way into prime time, just throwing crap at the wall and try to gaslight me into thinking the Titans don't need to be on prime time. It's not going to work on me.
Basically, what the NFL just did to us was say, hey, it's raining outside. And then I said, wait a minute, this rain feels warm and it smells funny. Is that piss? Yes, it's piss. And the thing about it is, and you were spot on, Mike North, had he not said anything, I would have been perfectly fine of saying, hey, you know what? We terrible. We don't need no primetime game. And that's what a lion's share of Titans fans think. Yes, would we have liked to have one primetime game? But we completely
Yes.
understand why we didn't make it into primetime because we simply didn't have a good season. But don't come
Mhm.
back to me and tell me you can't draft your way into a primetime game and then give the Falcons, who picked in the top 10 again,
Mhm.
5 primetime games. Give the Jags, who moved up in from 8 to 2 to pick Travis Hunter and not put him in a primetime game. When it literally was right there for you. It literally was right there. And I get it. They make the schedule way in advance. Blah, 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 blah. So, we ain't gonna beat this dead horse. But I'm just like, I know I ain't tripping. Because I know for a fact the number 1 overall pick should have at least one primetime game. Like somebody said,
Mhm.
I think Cal Bratt said, hey man, you don't think Cam Ward deserves to be put on the back end of a Monday Night Football doubleheader that starts at like 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard
Nobody
Time?
like.
Come on, bro. Look, the first game that we play is September the 7th. And it's the only reason why it's in the late window is because we playing in Denver.
Literally.
You telling me you couldn't have moved that to Monday night and had a Monday night triple header? Come on, dog. Get out of here with that, bro. The number 1 overall pick. You knew ages ago that we were picking Cam Ward, number 1. Give me something, dog. Give me something. But again, that's just like right now. I know Cam Ward is going back to the equipment manager room and saying, "Hey man, I need some extra large pads. I need lineman pads because the chips that are on his shoulder are huge, dog. Huge.
They sure are used, man.
Like the man didn't need it's like saying, hey dog, I know you got this tank right here, but we're gonna drop these 3 other Tomahawk missiles for you to use just in case. He already had enough ammo to fuel him for at least 4 seasons. 0-star recruit all the way up to number 1 pick. Didn't get no shine on no network, on no TV channel thing. Dog. And look, this is how you know it was bad. Because you had Titans fans pissed off at the Titans social media. I was one of them fans. Bro, from the time that Cam Ward got picked, we got a couple of clips of him in the plane and things. But I got more clips, I got more content from Cam Ward on his own social media than I did from the Titans. So I'm like, what are we doing here? What's going on here? Like
It's a problem of exposure with this
right.
guy, which I don't understand. He could be boring, but it doesn't matter. He's the number 1 overall pick, and he's the potential next face of your franchise. You need to be marketing that across all sorts of channels and spaces so you can get more eyes on him. I don't understand either, man.
Look, bro. We should be on this podcast right now saying, okay, I'm sick of seeing Cam Ward. He ain't done nothing yet. Let's pump the brake. But you can't even get to that level because are we grasping at straws here to say, hey, why are y'all tripping about Cam Ward content? Because, dog, we have never had a high quarterback picked this high. I think the highest one we ever had picked was Marcus Mariota. He was number 2, and Vince Young was number 3. I think Steve was number 3.
Steve was something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was number 3. Like, this is the highest quarterback we've had, especially knowing that we needed a quarterback. Like, if they told me tomorrow that the Tennessee Titans were going to be on Hard Knocks, I would pay the $29.99 for HBO Max, Hulu, Max. I don't know what they call it now. But I would be paying the money so I can hear Liev Schreiber come up there and talk about Jeffrey Simmons and what's her name. So, yeah, I don't get it. Now, I will give them props on that. That schedule release video.
That was good.
Chef's
Chef's
kiss. Because
that was good.
Football is everything. Hey, that joke was fired. So maybe they was working on that. Maybe they was working on that, trying to get that done. And they said, "Hey, Cam, we don't got enough time to do both. We don't, ice in town, so we lost some of the workers." But anything like that. So maybe they, some excuse. But yeah, I don't know. They've been picking it up now. I didn't see Cam get a couple shines and get some throws. I mean, I done seen some of the best handoffs and throws I've ever seen in my life as a Tennessee Titans fan. since Steve McNair from Cam. So I don't know. Maybe the exposure gonna come up. Now I will let me pique your interest right here. Now,
Okay.
this has nothing to do with the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
But a one, and I hate to bring his name back up right here, but a Shadur Sanders, according to Schultz reports, a one Shadur Sanders have agreed to and my camera is tracking my face because they want you to know.
Stop using your hands.
I know, right? Stop talking with your hands. So one Shadur Sanders has gotten signed his contract, a 4-year, $4.6 million deal with the Browns. Now, one is interesting because that basically eliminates Deshaun Watson's contract altogether. Because if Shadur is as good as advertised, which we all believe he is, he's way better than. I'm gonna put it like this: Shadur Sanders is is probably the number 2 quarterback on that roster right now. And I'm saying that simply because right now they got Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, who else? Kenny Pickett. Who else? Who else is on? Shadur and then Deshaun. Yep. So they got 5 quarterbacks. Yep. So right now you're telling me I'm saying that I'm just going on there. I know it may be a hot take, but Shadur is the number 2 overall. So you're probably saying, well, what is that? I don't care about the Cleveland dog poo or whatever. On a 1 December, I think it's December the 17th or something like that, or roughly December the 7th or something like that. The Tennessee Titans play the Cleveland Browns. Stop talking with your hands.
Do it again.
we play a one Cleveland Browns. So after week 5, the league can flex any game that it wants to be in prime time. So it is possible that they can flex that game. If Shadur does anything, if Shadur wins 2 or 3 games coming up in that thing, yeah, it's 2 5-5 teams, but still the allure is there to say, hey man, let's flex that 12 p.m. game to maybe 4, maybe Sunday night football, depending on what their records are. Now I don't. Yeah. That's just wishful thinking, but that's the only thing. That's the only way I can see us getting a primetime game, and it's not even based off that we have the number 1 pick. It's based off of, well, Shadur is playing, so let's put him on there because they, had that. So again, it all comes back to just like I feel like Rodney Dangerfield being a Titans fan, get no respect. I get no respect, no respect. So, it's crazy. All right, so we're gonna you know what time we do. Hey man, it's time to get your merch, man. Get your merch. Gotta get your merch. Section240.com/shop is where we sell all our merch. We're gonna have some Cam Wars stuff coming. I got some coming down the pipeline. As we get closer to training camp, we're gonna be dropping some content. So man, make sure, man, make sure you get your merch. Make sure you get your merch. Get your merch. All right. So I did a video. We'll put it back up here. We did a video for the channel about the 2025 schedule. I had us going 8 and 9, which is very optimistic. But what are your thoughts? Even though the schedule release and came out there, we're kind of a little bit late to the game. But what are your thoughts on the season? Are you as optimistic as me? And I mean, and the only reason why I said that, I'll preface it before you give your answer. The only reason I say I'm as optimistic is that some of those games last year, and I know we're gonna be a dead horse, we lost due to just bad quarterback. It was a whole lot of myriad things. The offense wasn't good. Defense didn't hold up to that. But some of those games, we can, if you do the root cause analysis, it'll go back to being, hey, the quarterback couldn't get it done. So, yeah. But what is your outlook on the 2025 season?
I'm literally just going with the flow, man. I don't expect this team to compete for. Well, actually, I don't expect this team to be a world beater. I don't expect this team to strongly fight for the division.
Right.
Best case scenario, they're fighting for a wild card spot toward the tail end of the season, and that's literally best case scenario. This team still isn't all that good, man.
Right.
I mean, you still got questions up front. You still got questions with receivers. Defensively, you got some edge problems as well. Linebacker, inside linebacker.
Yeah.
mean, safety Xavier Woods is good alongside Xavier Woods is a fine football player, but he's not a world beater. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting here with a glow or like
I
a
lost you.
like a,
No, I did. Sorry. That was
I'm sitting here with a crystal globe, man, crystal
me.
globe, and I am seeing the ceiling of this season will depend on Cam Ward. It's surprise, I guess, surprise, but the ceiling of the season depends on Cam Ward. I'm not expecting him to be bad, but I'm not expecting him to be a world beater either.
Yeah.
Especially considering what all could go down, what all could go wrong around him. Offensive line, receivers,
Right.
and also head coach, man. Staff situation around him, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the Titans feel about Brian Callahan right now. But I think if I had to guess, if this team does not look good within the first 6 games of the season, they're going to give them the pink slip, and there's going to be interim the rest of the season. I'm fully, it would suck, but I'm preparing for it because at that point, the Titans fire Brian Callahan. They can bring in a shiny new head coach, whatever. We'll talk about that if it gets that. But I'm expecting this season to hinge on the development of Cam Ward.
Right.
First off, this season should be all about the development of Cam Ward.
Absolutely.
And just making sure his development is on a steady progress at the least, so he doesn't end up like a bust, man. But this season does hinge on the development of Cam Ward and just how explosive his development can be from week 1 all the way to the last game of the season, in the regular season, or even if they get to the playoffs miraculously, man. Right. That's my take on it.
Yeah, and I can see that, and I think that's the problem that a lot of Titans fans had last year. I remember freaking Zach again was screaming from the rooftops, and I was kind of echoing his claims that we should have low expectations for the season because some of the same problems that we had last year we're facing this year. It was the roster really wasn't that good, and then ran in them for the most part tried to make us competitive, but it just wasn't good. Now, if the quarterback position would have worked a little bit better and we won some of those games, then I think that may have changed the dynamic of the season. I don't think we lose DeAndre Hopkins. I don't think we trade away Ernest Jones. I don't think a lot of those people, especially if we knew, hey, we're not going to win the division, but we got 6 wins, so we saw some improvement, that may have changed it. But right now, again, we're basically starting over from scratch again. We got the number 1 pick for a reason. We didn't get a primetime game for a reason. So, we have to temper our expectations. I was a little bit optimistic because I'm looking at the Colts games. I'm looking at freaking the Texans, although they signed 1 million wide receivers, their offensive line still stinks. They got rid of their best lineman and sent him to watch the Commanders. So, that is that. So I'm looking at a lot of these teams. I'm looking at the Jags. They still have Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback. I don't know what can Liam Cohen do. He worked a lot of wonders, but that remains to be seen. Can he work that with what's his name? Your boy, Trevor Lawrence down there in Jacksonville. But I'm looking at the Colt game is one that we pick up. The Browns, I don't think they're good. The Saints, they are now in need of a quarterback because the one they got right now is a PH. I think he still tried to. If he didn't get drafted, he still has some college eligibility left because that boy 29. He's
He's 25, man.
He's 25. You know what I'm saying?
Good Lord.
When you rent a car, you ain't got to pay the extra deposit now. So I don't know. So, but I think you're 100% right. I think we are going to have to temper a lot of expectations. And a lot of this season, and I said it in the video, a lot of this season is hinging off of whether or not Cam Ward and whether A, Cam Ward is as advertised, as good as he was in college, and B, is Brian Callahan capable of building an offense that Cam can succeed in. Like Cliff Kingsbury, what he did for Jaden Daniels, that was masterful. Like if Cliff Kingsbury would have gotten a head coaching job last off cycle for the work that he did with Jaden Daniels, it would have been, everybody would have been like, yeah, I can see that. I understand that. And the fact of the matter that Cliff Kingsbury stayed is a telltale sign that I don't know. I don't know. You know what's going on. I mean, it's good. Maybe he realizes the questions. Like I got a buddy of mine, David Oliver, who's used to run track, won in the Olympics hurdles. He says this all the time. He says so when people he said trying to get happier than happy. Like if you're happy, be happy. But when you start trying to get happier than happy, that's when things go downhill.
Yep.
So maybe he's realized that, like, hey man, I'm happy. I'm happy being the offensive coordinator. I don't need to be a head coach. You know what it is? So, because the jury is really still out on Brian Callahan. Is he a good head coach? That's the thing. We know that, we saw signs that his offense could be good, but it's going to remain, it will remain to be seen whether or not he's learned anything, which I think he did. I think he's learned enough to, I guess. But he still got to prove it. It would suck though if we're 6 games into the season and we got an interim head coach. I don't even could you imagine that, an interim head coach right now? So that would be detrimental.
I don't want to.
That would be detrimental. I would cry real tears. I would cry real tears, man. Oh no. So yeah, man. Man, yeah, and I think she said, man, we ain't gonna talk long today because we easing back into it. Because this is what is this? Is this episode 10, Trey? I think this is.
It might be episode. It's either 8, 9, or 10, man.
I think it's 8, 9, or 10, man. I think we have made it to episode 10. We have made 10 episodes of one of the greatest podcasts known to man. Yes. Oh no, we got more than 10 episodes. This is no.
We got more than 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is episode 10.
Yeah.
Pop the champagne. Hey. So yeah, man, we looking for the next 10, the next 20, 30, 40, 50 until me and Trey get tired of it, or until we get picked up by some big conglomerate, and then then we go Hollywood on y'all. Trey don't have the red and green back. If Trey lose the red and green, we don't win Hollywood.
Just know I made it. I made it, man.
We made it, dog.
We made it.
We made it. All right, man. So, hey, man, make sure y'all. Hey, we are on social media. We have no longer do you have to follow me and look at all my tweets and stuff like that. You can follow me on Twitter, Bonafide, bro. But we got our own Section 240 Twitter account. It is at Section_240, and we on TikTok at Section_240. So we're gonna be on IG. We're gonna try to maybe start up a community page. But man, support the channel. Get you some merch, man. Get you a t-shirt. We got some new merch coming out, things like that. If you watch the schedule video, I might be in Nashville. That early December game against the Texans. It would only be right that I come back to the game before they get rid of the stadium. Well, I think the stadium will be here next year too. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Until they get rid of the stadium. So we might link up there. But man, yeah, that's all I got, man. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. So I'm Bonafide, and for my man Trey Whistle. Until next time. Peace.